Welcome to the Lexy and Josh Show podcast.
For spiritual gangsters who want a dose of the spiritual mixed with fun.
Like and subscribe so we can be best friends.
Nailed it. Welcome back. We are now,
Despite our best efforts, we're back.
we're back on this
That's right.
Earth spinning. I don't know whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, but either way, we're moving in space.
Yeah.
And you guys are listening to us.
I heard the other day that Earth is not round and it's not flat. There's like this firmament that people are talking about, right?
Oh,
where it's like a dome, and above the
there's like another dome?
the clouds is like water. Apparently it's in the Bible or something.
Really?
Yeah, it was water, and which means
wow.
there's something else above it.
Shane, is that in your Bible?
Everything's in the Bible.
Yeah, that's true.
Just the way you interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. Like, Jesus said, there's water, sky,
Actually,
firmament,
can
water
you-
again.
I know this is completely off what we initially discussed to talk about, but
Which is usually the case.
yeah. Now that this has come up, I do want to quickly talk about just like religion and spirituality,
Okay.
because I have quite a few clients that will even say to me like, oh, look, I feel really uncomfortable. Basically, almost being brought up like atheist or something like that, and then found, their spirituality, and they get very, very uncomfortable when it's talking about God or Jesus or archangels.
Yeah.
So you can go, archangels and
Yeah,
things.
because they're painted in a very different light.
Yeah.
Christianity. So.
Yeah, so which I can relate to, because I was brought up just quickly, like my dad was heavily Catholic. I think my mum was Lutheran or Anglican, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Mumsy doesn't know.
I honestly don't know the difference of any of them.
Yeah.
I don't care to find out either.
But the thing is, my parents had this thing where when we were growing up, they're like, okay, well, we definitely want to make sure that, like, we don't want to put beliefs or whatever. It's just whatever you want to believe. So they actually gave me this book. It was like Man of God or something, and it had all the religions in the world and like information about them. And so my parents were like, well, look, you can read through, have a look, like if there's something that resonates with you or that you like, cool.
Yeah.
If not, that's fine too.
Yeah.
So I essentially kind of got brought up with, like, when they were doing all like religion studies at school, I was like the kid sitting on the corner on the computer playing games.
Yeah.
But so when I started, like when I circled back around and got more into my spiritual journey, I myself, which I can understand why some of my clients have, I actually struggled with the whole archangel thing, to the point where someone was doing a reading on me and she's like, oh, and God says this. And I was like, yeah, doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
But then I thought it was interesting that, like, my head's kind of fixed onto that in a way, or like has gotten like a bit of a like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe just because of the energy connected to it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
What have you had that?
Not necessarily, but I can imagine it being a big shock. I was never into religion, although I was, I think I was baptised Church of England or something like that.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
I think it's like King James.
I mean, I've heard of England, but I don't know. And I've seen churches in England.
I've seen churches
yeah,
in
that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you go to the Church of England in England?
couldn't even tell you if that's an actual thing.
Yeah. I'm just staring. Yeah.
But yeah, that's as far as that goes. I really have no idea. So, but I can imagine it being a big waking moment, because I've had a lot of waking moments where you're in an awakening where you realise that everything is different to what you thought.
Yes. Yeah.
But that would be a whole nother level.
Yeah, and it's weird too
because that's
that you
real
have
ingrained beliefs.
It is, yeah, and I think just because so much of it is so tightly connected with religion, but then you also have the flip side of people.
That's religion of every past life.
Oh,
too,
it's crazy.
It's that ingrained.
Yeah, exactly.
And the further back you go, the more religious they were.
Yeah, through certain parts of those timelines. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And it's interesting though, because then you have the flip side of people where they've been brought up super religious under those belief systems that then are kind of like, oh, you know, you're talking about my guides. Oh, I don't know about that. Like, you know, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Just like where people's kind of buttons are based on these.
Yeah, so you've had a bit of that, have you?
With clients, yeah. I've had them from both sides, like where they've been more religious and they'll be like, oh, you know, and I get them to meet their guides and their angel. Their angel, totally fine with.
Yeah.
And then, and then their guides and they're like, that's not what I thought. And they're like,
yeah.
Yeah, which is cool either way. But I just wanted to know if
you
you
do
had
see
that
big sort of paradigm shift when that happens, and they realize that, you know, if this is something tangible that they can actually see in the metaphysical space now, then what else is open to it? You know? And just the fact of being open, you know, really opens up the floodgates for a lot of new energy.
I'll tell this story quick. When I first met Shane, my husband, who's here today, don't
you dare bring me in.
Because he was quite strict Catholic. What's funny, I didn't know he was strict Catholic because we met and just hit it off and just like, we spoke for ages, had some, just really amazing conversations. It wasn't until literally like we started to go, oh, okay, you know, we're going out on a date. I think it was like this.
So you never rocked up on a Sunday? You never had a date on a Sunday? Or, sorry, I can't go.
No, well, he never went. He didn't go to church because, it's a long story, but he didn't go, his family didn't go to church because the church did, I don't know, followed some different type of religion compared to, I don't know.
Basically, it just changed too much and it should never have ever been changed. From, I don't know, whenever it was the Council of Trent or something like that.
From what they did.
Changed off too many times, so now we had to stick to the OG ways of Catholicism.
Not the new way.
Which is to not attend church.
Yeah, in our situation, that was the better alternative, apparently, yeah.
So, Shane was like, oh, you know, so I only found out like on, I think it was like our second date or something, but I was like, second date's normally the red flag date. But he's like, oh yeah, I'm Catholic, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, oh well, it doesn't seem like you're super, you know.
Yeah.
Church. He's like, oh yeah, no, it's, you know, we do this. I don't eat meat on Fridays, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh okay, yeah, righto. And I was like, oh, you've got your beliefs or whatever. When I moved in, he actually said to me, he's like, oh, because I was using my cards. And he goes, yeah, you're not using your cards here. And I was like, okay. You remember that, right? You said too,
100%.
Yeah, he was like, so like, nah, that's, you know, that's bad. That's not, you're not doing that.
At that stage in my defense, I was a little bit anti everything.
Yes.
Because I was like looking into my religion and my beliefs and the ones I'd been led to believe, and I was kind of like questioning everything because I was reading a lot about it, and I was sort of trying to figure out why I believed what I did. So Shane was kind of having his own awakening, but what was interesting is he said that, and then it turned around and it was like, oh no, where I think it's probably like, I don't know, a couple of months later, because I said to him like, look, you've got your beliefs, I've got mine. I'm fine, like if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but don't project onto me, like, you know. And he's like, oh, and to be fair, like Shane's really good. He was like, oh, okay. He's like, well, yeah, fair enough, like, can't argue with that. He ended up turning around and I think getting into touche. Yeah, he ended up he meditation, and like he got massively into meditation and then started down like that kind of road, and then I took him to meet his guides, and but like Shane does readings for me now. Like it was only a couple of months, and then Shane was totally fine with me using cards. He said something that was like really, I still say to myself every so often.
Oh, okay. I said something profound, I don't remember.
Very profound. So profound you've forgotten what it is.
I'm like, yeah, just all of a sudden you just stop.
I'm about to get it tattooed on me. It's that good.
No, what would it take for you to believe something different?
Oh, is that what I said?
Very profound, very deep.
Boom.
Well, what would it, words to that effect? It might have been, what would it take for you to change your belief, or what would it take for you to,
okay.
You know?
That does make sense, actually, now that I recall. Yeah.
Hey Shane, I have a question for you. I always thought of meditation as being something less religious and more metaphysical space, right? Which may be wrong, but that's just what I've thought. So how does that tie in? Do deeply religious people still meditate, and if they do, what do they hope to see
or experience?
No, you don't hope to see or anything really.
Sure.
You don't have any expectations. You would basically just ponder on maybe the life of Jesus or God's teachings or, you know, some parts of the Bible. Or
so a bit more like reflection.
Basically, just reflection. And if you did that for like a long period of time, that's where like different, you know, fathers of the church and different sort of preachers and that would come up with revelations because they'd been meditating for ages, and then an idea that would burst upon them, and that would be kind of taken as handed down from God.
Yeah.
But there's no new ones coming anymore because at the Council of Trent it got decided that it was all perfect. It was never to be changed anymore, according to the beliefs that I used to hold as fact in my mind.
So that's where Revelation, like the Book of Revelations, come from. Just
I don't know about that.
People just meditating.
I don't know about the Book of Revelations, but yeah, just a lot of.
It would be along that line.
Yeah. Would be coming from just sitting and thinking about God, the Ten Commandments, Jesus, the life, you know, the way of the cross, all of that kind of stuff.
It's just really, I just find it really interesting that, you know, even just what you said about meditation, because, you know, I've even had people go, oh, well, you know, I do that in prayer. And you're like, okay, which to be fair, I could understand why they would get into a similar frequency or similar space, because if they're praying and they're just saying the same, it's essentially similar to chanting.
Yeah.
And they would be doing the same thing with that intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prayer's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can do some pretty miraculous things.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it can take them into that space because there's such a focused intention with sound frequency attached to it.
100%. And if you go to, like when I was a lot younger, I used to be an altar boy, and I served at some like high masses and that in big like cathedrals. And when there's like all chanting in Latin and there's the organ playing and like there's the shape of the roof and the incense, like there's certain sort of incense mixed up and you're sort of swinging those things around. It's pretty out of body. It's pretty, everyone's there for the same reason, and it's very uplifting and feels very unified. And I think there's actually a lot of good that actually comes from it, and it feels like everybody's there for the same purpose and the same reason. It's very uplifting. Like there's no outside world when you're in the church, especially during a high mass like that. It's very uplifting and soul sort of like you just feel.
Because you feel connected. There's like that connectedness that, you know, we all are after. But it's definitely interesting just how many people get a bit fun, you know. People get like, I know me, like I get a bit funny with that stuff. But I think it's more because now I'm talking about it aloud, it feels like it's more because it's connected to the fear and the terror that's like instilled or so integrated within that belief system. That's what doesn't sit well with me, is that it's like to instigate and to basically, you know, get people to trigger fear constantly is just not healthy and it's not beneficial. So I understand like the chanting and or you know, the prayers and that kind of stuff in that context. Yes, that could be beneficial, but not there's an underlying fear there constantly.
Yeah, because they fear God. Look, you
fear hell constantly.
But they fear God because God can send you there.
Exactly. Yeah. So on one hand, you're there praying to God, holy, holy, holy. You're all there with the same intent and the same purpose, and you're all uplifted.
Yeah.
But if during that time you should, in the words of the Bible, think upon a virgin in the wrong way. Well, walk out and trip over her, knock your head, and you're going straight to hell.
Yeah.
Like that is very much the...
And that's the part that I find, like, with my clients, like, they struggle with from both sides.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just
it's a
think
whole
if
nother...
God is the epitome of unconditional love, then you shouldn't fear.
No.
There's no way that.
No, it is unconditional.
Everyone's entitled to their
I just wanted
opinion.
to have a bit of a conversation about. I know that it's like a bit of a sensitive subject.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just wanted to talk about it because I'm like, I get clients ask me those questions a lot, and it's important because at the end of the day, you need to do what feels best for you. And I don't say best for your belief system, best for your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, if those religions keep you on the straight and narrow, as in if you didn't have them, you would be some sort of serial killer. Then more power to you.
Yeah, definitely. Then please keep attending and don't murder anybody. Yeah. That's good.
Cool.
What else were we? Oh, we have to.
We're drawing the winner. So
yes, we have to announce the winner.
Yeah. So a while back, Lexy and I ran a competition where as part of the Lexy and Jai show, on a few of our platforms, and had an overwhelming response, really, of
really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting us.
Thank you so much. And the winner gets a session with me, a multidimensional healing session, and also a
half-hour session
with Lexy.
Yeah.
And we have the winner to announce.
We've picked the winner.
Yeah.
Randomly.
All right.
Oh yeah, drum roll. Drum roll.
So it's hurts your ears in the podcast, I don't know how it works. And the winner is Sari Win.
Woohoo! Sorry, if you can contact us.
Yeah, reach out. We'll probably reach out to you.
Yeah, we'll reach out to you as well.
Yeah.
And we will contact each other.
Yeah, our people will talk to your people. We'll go from there. But congratulations, and thank you for everyone for entering and telling us what they were grateful for.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of love there.
Yeah, I particularly liked I think it was Rose's image of her food. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. There were some good ones.
Just quickly, I want to talk about clouds.
Sure.
That's a better topic.
Okay. So do you ever, just look at the sky or like happen to look out and see images or see things in clouds?
You know what? I never really looked at clouds until I guess it's a lot of podcasts ago now we spoke about this.
Oh, really?
About seeing things in the clouds. I think I brought it up, like things have changed.
Okay,
yeah. I have recently been, well, not recently, longer than that now, since that podcast, been looking towards the sky, lifting my head up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Crazy thing.
Your neck's like...
The clouds just look different. They look weird. I can see things in the clouds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it just looks different than it used to.
I wonder if our listeners can let us know if you have pictures or symbols in the clouds. Because, some people will be like, oh, I saw an angel in the clouds, or, oh, I saw a crown, or I saw just, really cool things. I know, I can't remember what it's like, not cloudomancy, it's like something Nancy, but I don't know if you can look up cloud reading for the specific term, but basically you can it's like cloud readings, and you actually can do readings or stuff like from the clouds.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is so cool. I haven't explored it heaps, but I remember just like looking up, and I saw an elephant in one of them, and I was like, this is so cool, and like horses and things like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, there's something so like special about that moment though. You are right though, the clouds have changed, just like it seems like they've I don't know, it's weird. It's like they're higher and then
I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's not, they're not the same.
I understand.
And this isn't an animal, but I saw a cloud the other day which was a dead set right angle, like a straight right angle. I'm like, what is that?
Oh, that's cool.
Like dead set.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
I
have
don't
a bit
know
of
any animals that have right angles.
I have a bit of a funny story.
Okay.
It's not PG. So,
Okay.
So if you want PG,
Yeah, this is the wrong podcast.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I was driving with mum. Well, sorry, mum was driving down like Quandaling Road. We were stuck in traffic, and anyway, she was talking. I think we'd come back from the nursery or something, and she was going, "Oh, it's so nice how you can see images in the clouds," and having a great conversation about it. And no word of a lie, I look up, and then I just see a cloud in the shape of a penis. And because Mum had just
What's
finished.
with my laugh like I'm just at school?
Mum had just finished. Okay, Ralph. Mum had just finished saying to me though, like, oh, yeah, they say that you've got some good meanings in clouds, and I just look up and I'm like, what? Hey, Mum, and she's like, yeah, I'm like,
What's that mean?
What's the penis mean? I was laughing so much. Mum's like, oh, it's not, And I'm like, because I think she goes, oh, maybe it's a snake. I'm like, no, Mum, like, look at it. And she goes, oh, okay. And she's like, oh, well, I don't know, Lexy, why are you so vulgar sometimes?
Oh my God. I didn't make the cloud, Mum.
I didn't make the penis-shaped cloud, Mum.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard, I couldn't even get a proper photo of it. I was just like, this is great. And Mum's like, are you seriously taking a photo of it? I'm like, hell yeah. This is great. I said to Mum, I'm going to put it on my story.
Hey, I don't know if I brought this up in a podcast in relation to clouds though.
Yes.
I've seen somebody on different platforms, like you can see them looking up at the clouds and holding. This is weird that we just spoke about penises, but it's like literally like they're moving the clouds apart with their fingers.
Oh,
like,
really?
Like rubbing stuff out, and the clouds are just separating at the exact.
Oh, just from their energy.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Like
I have not seen
literally
that.
Changing their reality.
Oh my God, I need to see that. Was that on TikTok?
Yeah. Have I not sent it to you? I normally send everything.
Yeah. I know. I literally just have I think it's you, Shane, and Yoshi that's...
Yeah, it sends through rubbish.
Yeah, no. It's like just good videos. There was something else that I wanted to talk about though, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Spells?
Oh, yes. Okay, so... Spells.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
What do you think, what are your thoughts of spells, or I guess Wicca, or kind of
sure.
witchcraft?
I thought it was all make-believe.
Okay, yeah.
But I wanted to believe that it's real.
Yeah.
But I just thought it's,
yeah.
Not impossible. It's all intention and stuff. But only because it's never happened to me. I've never been in that realm, so I'm open to it. But never happened.
That's no. I've had a similar. I think I got kind of a little bit more into it when I was around 15, but then I kind of went away from it a bit. But I agree with you as well. I think it's intention. Yeah. It's the intention, and then those ingredients or things that they use. It's they've got vibration, and it's basically just making a cocktail. Yeah. Some of them are a bit, I don't know,
a bit out there.
A little bit out there for me. Yeah. But my my best friend Sam, she I swear to God, so she's she's got it right in. She's right into it. She's very she's been a witch in one of her past lives and everything, but she did this abundance spell. And she's like, oh yeah, I do this abundance spell, see how it goes. Did this abundance spell, and then walks outside, and there's $100 on the ground. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And she's just like, oh my God. And then obviously then also it was a job offer coming, all this stuff. And I was laughing, and she goes, yeah, because the funniest part is before that she was talking about I don't know what I should do. She's like, oh, I don't know. I just need said to the I just need a sign what I should be what I should be doing, you know, with my soul right now, because, you know, with all the school stuff, she left her job. And anyway, yeah, does the spell, that happens. And she's like, oh, maybe I should sell pocket spells. And I was like, yes, you should. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And she's like, showed me what she's created, and they look super cute. So little unbeknownst to me, I've then gone up to Gympie. So that night, she'd obviously said to her guides in the universe, like, look, I don't want to be doing online stuff with these. Like, she's like, I hate going to the post office.
Oh my God.
So you're just like, I'm not posting it. Like, that's just too much work. So she goes, oh, so I don't know. You're going to have to sort something out. And does it, yeah. So anyway, I go up to Gympie. I was then talking to Diet Magicality up there, which, by the way, guys, listeners, if you have a chance to go to that store, go. She has got some amazing stuff there. So anyway, I'm sitting there talking to Di, and I was telling her, oh, you know, Sam's creating she creates pocket spells and stuff. And Di's was like, oh my God, like, I'll stock them. Like, if, you know, they're simple and everything, I'll do that. So then I've called Sam, and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, hey, so she's, you know, Di will stock your stuff. And she's like, are you serious? And she's like, man, this abundance spell kicks off. I was like, yeah. I'm like, you're epic.
Awesome.
Oh, she's done some pretty, she did an abundance one, and she's got like another money one that she's been using as well.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, you should do them.
Yeah,
so that's
for
what
sure.
so that's literally what she's creating. She's even made like even the bags for them
Those
to go
abundance
in.
one would go off, right? Because if I spent the money and then immediately made back the money, I'd be spending it again on more of the abundance stuff.
Yeah, you're like,
Just one person just for life.
I need 50 of these spells.
That's right.
Yeah, it was crazy because she got like, she even makes the bags herself. Like, she sews all the little bags. It's so cute. It's so cute and so cool. I'm like, oh my God, you need to do it.
And I was talking to Laurie the other day, I think it was yesterday, about spells and stuff. And she was talking about somebody mixing stuff up in one of those.
Yeah, the little pestle bowl thing.
That sort of thing. And then throwing something in and sparks come. And I'm like, what? Sparks actually come? She's like, yeah, sparks come.
Yeah.
But I missed the start of the conversation when she said it was a dream.
Oh.
And I'm totally invested in this going, what?
You're like, wow, this is the second thing I've heard about spells.
I know.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's what I said to Sam, because Sam does all it's all just like your herbs and that kind of stuff. And someone said something about like, you know, because they have different more basil. They have all of the different candles and stuff. So it's like, you know, you have to have like, I can't even remember, there's like certain candles that you need and that kind of thing. But I think heaps of people just use white candles though.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know the significance. I'm not well versed in.
You're not a candle expert.
I'm not well versed in candles, in candle colours.
Well, I am. You can
with the magic.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what does the red candle mean? But yeah, there's but it's interesting though. I do feel like part of it is making a bit more of a comeback.
Yeah.
You know, where more people are starting to get, because there was a while there, like, I'm going to call it a bit of a spade here. Okay. There was a while there where, you know, you'd walk in and if it has like a witchcraft section or whatever, there were some places in some of those stores that you went into where it's just like, you know, someone greets you and it's like almost like the wart on the nose. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's really like, oh, this is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or they'll talk about, they go, oh, you know, these are spells and you can use this for curses. And I'm like, I don't really want.
Yeah, why would you want to curse?
I don't want to curse anyone. Like,
like what do you need that person to come to an untimely end or something?
Okay.
Wow.
This is getting dark.
It's got dark.
I thought that's what we were doing.
No,
we don't need anyone to die.
No,
it's the bones for pointing the finger bone.
That's what I mean. Like, there's some stuff that's like, oh, it's a bit, you know. And I think they have like, isn't it like light and dark witches or something like that? I really generally, if anyone has more information on it, like, send it in. But I just know like Sam's stuff that she does is very like, it's, I guess, the light and like it's all just around energy and frequency and that kind of stuff, but which I think is really cool. But yeah, I don't
just
know
so you guys
enough
know,
about
to
it.
send it in, like on all of our socials, or you can send an email to the Lexy and Jai
Yes.
Show, the Lexy and Jai Show at gmail.com,
Yeah.
And which connects to both of us, so we'll get it straight away.
Yeah, we get it instantly.
Instantly, yeah, that's how the internet works.
The World Wide Web.
That's right.
Yeah. Was there anything else that we had to talk about?
Yes, there's one you were very adamant in speaking about, and it was the fork in the road moment.
Fork in the road moments.
Yeah.
Yes. Man, I'm so glad you wrote that down,
man.
because I got really distracted during this podcast.
No.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. So, yeah, I want to talk about fork in the road moments.
Yep.
Like those moments where, because obviously everyone has them, and it's that moment where you literally can see there's like left or right, and you go, this is the way I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And you look back on it, like sometimes even when that happens, that fork in the road happens, you don't necessarily have a full awareness that it's that moment.
Yeah.
And that, you get me?
Yeah.
But you still then reflect back on it and go, yeah, that was my fork in the road.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What was yours? Like,
Okay.
well, obviously we've got a lot, but what's one that stands out the most?
Yeah, okay. So, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15 years old. Third fastest in Queensland for 100 and 200.
Yeah.
Fork in the road moment.
Lightning jar.
Smoking weed lying on a high jump mat for the whole sessions from there on out. Ruined any sort of chance of a career.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right. So that was your... So you look back on that and you're just like, oh, that was
stupid.
That
Yes.
choice was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think I've got a couple, but one that is still kind of a bit profound for me, obviously, just because it's, you know, as they all do, lead you to where you are now. When I was married to my previous husband, I literally got home and I heard, I went to go into the bathroom and then I heard Keith Urban's song playing. It was like Stupid Boy. And I heard the lyrics, and in that moment, literally, I was like, I'm getting divorced.
Wow.
Like, it was just like, it was such a big moment that I was like, that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me to put that song.
That's right. We have now banned Keith Urban in our house.
But it's the same, it's the same, you know, same fork in the road moment, even with Shane. Like, when Shane proposed, we had a king parrot come down and hover over my hand and like look at both of us and then fly up to the tree above us and just look at us. So it's like, there's those moments where you're like, yeah, that's a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's like interesting because sometimes you don't always know that is a fork in the road moment.
No,
like you wouldn't have, like at 15, you wouldn't have realised that was a fork
I was
in the
just
road.
hanging out with mates, and that's what the mates did. So that's what I did, and then next thing you know, I don't do athletics anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the timeline it took you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of jiu-jitsu?
Shame.
and even in regards to weed, like I hate the stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
really?
right. That's so weird.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It's just interesting, like, what's another one? Even, to be fair, even that fork in the road, and some of them are big moments, some of them are small. But even like when I worked at, I agreed to work at Our Space when we were both working, and then I met you. And I was like, I don't know about you, but I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
We just clicked.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, the energy felt right. Yeah, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just like what we're doing right now is no different to what we just do in life. It's just microphones in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is
us all day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just talk rubbish.
That brings me to the next thing with the LSI, so downloads on the weekend.
How's Philippa's spirit guide been?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited that she had an LSI guide the same as me, because obviously other people have interacted with them since I it would be about a year ago that I, for those of you who don't know, about a year ago, I had a really hectic experience where I went to Elysium, or Elysium, however you want to pronounce it, and I met another race of beings called the Elysi, and they were I didn't know at the time, so I was just downloading, but basically they said they were in the galaxy of the North Eagle, and I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but it sounds great. And then
it's like on the absolute opposite side of the...
Yeah, well, what happened was they then gave me the letters and the numbers, so I didn't know at the time what that was. So it was like, I think it was like GNZ11 or something like that. And it turns out when I googled it, it came up, and yeah, it's the furthest galaxy from Earth, like from us.
Yeah. So
I was like, oh, that's because that was happening. I was like, this isn't like, you're tripping balls hard. Like, you're not making this up. Anyway, so I was like, no. So I meditated and stuff, had to come through. Obviously, Kazil, my LSI guide, who's been hanging with me. So I've had heaps of information, and I know even working with you, it's like the symbols that come through, a lot of symbols from LSI. They do communicate telepathically. They kind of shift between some light language and telepathy, but yeah, that was just crazy. So then Philippa, who's one of our clients doing our Unearth Your Soul program, go take her to meet her guides. I haven't spoken to her about LSI, and she's describing exactly, because I could see them, and I'm just like
black reflective.
Oh, like, oh my god, yeah, that's like, yeah, they're like got really dark skin. It's kind of almost gold, like sheer gold.
That's how she said it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. Yeah, and she's like, oh, you know, and I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I wonder if she's going to kind of say like tribal, and she goes, it's kind of like symbols tribal, and she goes, and they got like, and I was like light language kind of like symbols on their skin, and I'm just like, oh yes. I was so excited. But anyway, so yeah, for those of you who don't know, I've put a few posts up in different Facebook groups, like global Facebook groups, asking if other people have connected with them. I'm yet to so until obviously like you, Mandy, apart, like, yeah, I just haven't had that. So I was like, oh my God. So then when that happened, it was massive. But downloads on the weekend, they told me that we've got a big new wave of consciousness coming on the 15th of May. So I didn't know that was a full moon, but apparently that's the full moon. 15th and 16th of May.
Yeah. So when this episode airs, it will be the 12th.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. So yeah, they were talking about these ripples of energy, and you know, with that consciousness. So it's almost like the vision they were giving me is almost like, you know, like those ink in water, like you drop the ink in water and it ripples out. It was like that. And they were saying that that's, in terms of consciousness, that's what they're doing. It's to help wake up more people to 5D consciousness. Obviously, for some people, if they haven't faced shadow stuff and you know, released or let go of like 3D kind of traumas, that experience is probably going to be a little
amplified. Yeah,
it's going to be pretty full on. Please, like, if you're in our soul tribe, if you're not, you can join, but otherwise, like, reach out to us, because it is going to be, if you haven't put in a decent amount of work, you're really going to feel it.
Yeah.
There's going to be, like, you know, the ringing in the ears, all your typical ascension experiences are going to be happening. But yeah, just that whole new, they keep talking about new abilities coming through, and I do feel like I have found that, like, more people are either finishing people's sentences or that kind of thing, which they just think, oh yeah, that's just part of it, but it's actually because we're getting kind of, our telepathy is starting to get activated more and more. So, which I think is super badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very excited about that.
Because why waste your time talking?
I know. Like, that way I can eat.
Yeah.
I can eat and communicate. at the same time.
Yes.
Yes, without being considered rude.
Yeah. Here we are looking to buy microphones. We don't even need them.
We don't.
No.
We don't. We just convey it.
Yeah. We'll be the first people just projecting a podcast.
But they were talking about the Earth basically has like those two facets where it's like there's an integration point. So this is like 3D, 5D, because the integration is when you shift to 5D and are then aware that 3D still exists within 5D.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is like the DMT experience that I had when you come back into 3D.
Yep.
And you realise this place is just junk.
Yeah.
Compared to
Yeah.
to whatever dimension we were at.
Yeah.
God, well, how high would that be?
Yeah.
Ninth.
It goes pretty high. Like 9D, because I think they say like 7D is essentially sound. Like 7/8 is like around sound frequency or whatever. 9D, well, it's weird because LSI talked to me about 12D.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I think there's only
it's so far
13 dimensions or something.
Okay, yeah, I'm like, it's so far, like, it's so far out of my scope of understanding with my human brain.
Yeah. And everyone's human brain.
Yeah, that I just don't, like, they'll go, and I think that's why as you, even when you're channeling, like, as you go pretty high into frequencies, like, people go, oh, whether they want a reading or whether they want a session, and they'll go, oh, okay, well, I was asking, and they're saying, like, B. I'm like, yeah. Do you know how much, like, how much of an answer is contained within that? Yeah. Like, but they just go, oh, that's a rubbish answer. You know what I mean? That's not helping me. Like, I know I've had the same, like, it was years ago. I was like, okay, so, like, what do I need to do? And then, like, B. I'm like, B what? Like, yeah, so I think as it filters down, after like the 15th, 16th of May, that's then when we've got that integration period. And that's really important because I think so often we go, oh, okay, oh, we've had downloads and oh, we've done this, and we kind of ride that wave and we don't maintain it. Yeah. So I think with, meditation, soul technique, breath work, and, even journaling and that kind of stuff, I feel like journaling would be really good for people, or even just grab the phone and hit record to talk, to like have that release around the heart chakra. Yeah. Because, that shift from heart, like your heart unconditional love, to then understanding the 3D can be quite difficult.
But also drinking clean water and lots of it. Electrolytes, so coconut water.
Oh, yes, electrolytes.
Eating high vibrational foods, that sort of stuff. Those are sorts of things in the physical world that you can do. Fasting might be a good idea as well. I know Lexy and I are going to be
doing like a bit of a cleanse.
Doing cleanses and fast between now and then. Everything that we can, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, if you're not part of the Soul Tribe, join.
We have fun.
We have fun, but the community,
we have some amazing people.
Other, so any questions that people have, just get posted to it. I respond, Lexy responds, but just as importantly, everybody else pitches in and responds on their opinions and ways which we might not have even thought about.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, like, even though we're doing this, like, we're always learning. Like, Joanna and I are always learning, and I think having exposure to different people's spiritual experiences is important, because it helps you put things into perspective for yourself as well. Yep.
Yep, without a doubt. Also, when we spoke about Philippa, when she spoke to her, we met her guides, she was doing our Unearth Your Soul course.
Yeah.
So
having so much fun with.
Yeah. There's so many different experiences for people.
Oh, it's like, it's pretty crazy. I will say, I do like how quickly it brings up people's stuff they need to deal with as well.
Yeah.
like, you know, right at the start.
Yeah,
It's like,
almost.
oh, this is, you know, like, oh, this is your shadow. This is what's, here we go, up to the surface.
Yeah. Yeah, up to the surface, clear. Here's your guides. Here's the galaxy.
Yeah. Here's your purpose.
Here's your purpose. Have
Now
fun in
be.
your new life.
Yeah. Now be in your new timeline.
Yeah, obviously a little bit more to it than that, but that's fundamentally how it works.
Cool.
Anyway, thank you for joining us.
This wraps it up.
This wraps it up. Till we meet again. We'll talk to you soon.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.